Thank you for watching Conscious Consumer Network. The live stream broadcast is free to view. You can pause and rewind live broadcasts to catch up, or view shows at a later date by accessing our free archives of all shows. Check out our broadcast guide to see what's on. You can show your support by donating to our network support fund. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or subscribe to the monthly newsletter for updates. We thank you for supporting free and independent media.
She stood out in the crowd, was a little too loud, but that's why we love her. She's not like other girls, she could have conquered the world until you broke her down. Are you happy now that she's on the ground? And do you realize the words you say make bruises and feel happy now that you brought her down? And she's thinking that she won't fit in 'cause you said something's wrong with her. Are you happy now? He likes science, not sport. You know what he's here for. He's not like you. You don't like that. 15 years down the road, he could be everything you want. But right now, you're breaking him down. Are you happy now that he's on the ground? And do you realize the words you say make bruises? Are you happy now that you brought him down? And he's thinking that he won't fit in 'cause you said something's wrong with him. Are you happy now? Are you happy now? Are you happy now?
Hi, I'm Addie.
I'm Emma.
I'm Neil.
I'm Shelby, and we are youth on subjects of the world. Today's subject is bullying. Anybody really have any experience with bullying? Or different kinds of bullying? Awkward.
Do you want to go ahead? Or it's okay. You don't have to go.
Well, there's a lot of different types of bullying, I guess, but they're all basically centered around the same thing. There's the bully, and then there's the victim, and then there's a person that knows it's happening, and they're called a bystander because they don't do anything. So the victim usually is obviously the target of these people, but the bullies, most people just view them as like obviously bad people because you're picking on someone or you're physically hurting them or cyberbullying them, which are very bad things, but sometimes bullies have issues at home or they're not comfortable with themselves or they have other issues. So obviously it's not okay, but they're still people, which everyone seems to tend to forget about. I'm making sense, right?
Yeah, you're making sense. So I guess I'll just say, so I've only actually had one. I wouldn't even call it bullying because it was like such a short time. It was this like, it was actually at a, I think it was an unschoolers conference. It was in Texas or something. It was it was a really long time ago. I just remember, and I don't know. There's just one kid. I don't know how old he was. Probably like a teenager or something. And I actually don't remember much of it. I only like vividly remember this one time, and I guess the way like I sort of handled it is that I would like I would act in a way where I would kind of reciprocate it in a way. Not that it wasn't to the extent that he was, because obviously like I was a lot younger. So, and sometimes he would do like it's really hard for me to remember this because it was so long ago. But I do remember this vivid one thing, and I remember I made like one sort of comment, and I was running down this hall away from him because I was like, yeah, well, he'll beat me up, but he won't actually beat me up. It wasn't anything like too physical. And I remember he had a hat, like a baseball cap, and he like threw it down and it hit me in the back of the head, and that was the only thing that like I remember of anything physically happening. I just remember one thing like, wow, that was really good aim because it was a long hallway, and he took off his hat and spun it. I don't know if that's proper grammar. He spun the hat. I don't. But and it hit me in the back of the head. But I mean, it's a baseball cap, so it's like it was soft. But so yeah, that's really it.
I think the proper grammar there, Neil, is he flung the hat.
He flung the hat.
Flung.
Flung. I had to look that up when this is done.
Well, I got bullied very badly when I was 9, and then again when I was 10, so it was 3rd and 4th grade, and then 5th grade, after I switched schools. When you have a traumatic experience, sometimes your brain will block out the memories. So I don't remember most of the stuff that happened. I only remember a few things because my brain apparently blocked the memories out. So the thing with bullying is sometimes the victims will start feeling like they did something wrong, or they are bad people, or just for some reason they deserve to get picked on. Because when people are picking on you very badly, it never got physical with me. It was just words because they were girls. So, which obviously hurt a lot still, but words are leaving my head. But, so sometimes bullies could be your friend, or they could be some random person that just decides to pick on you because you might have good grades, or you're friends with people that they don't like. So my bullies were my friends, and then they turned on me like that. And I have some learning disabilities that were getting diagnosed then, so sometimes I didn't understand things like them, which of course wasn't my fault, but still, they didn't really like that, I don't think. And then also, the way that someone becomes a bully is the way that they learn how to treat a person. So I'm not saying it's a parent's fault or a school's fault for every case. Some people are just mean that way, or feel so bad about themselves they want other people to feel bad. But in my situation, the school, the way that they taught us about how to treat other people was not very good. So they didn't address it until it got very, very bad. And even then, my parents had to fight to get them to address it. So I'm still making sense, right? And then, of course, there's situations where the victims, well, scratch that. So when you get picked on, there is two types of ways that sometimes you respond. So you either fight back and retaliate, or you just take it and lie down. It's called fight or flight response. So I just lied down and take it. I just lied down and took it because they were my friends. So someone else want to go?
Sure, I'll go. I was bullied when I was in first grade, the year I left school to become homeschooled. I was, the bully is actually one of my good friends now. They basically had the mentality of like most high schoolers, where it's like you're put into different boxes, and that's how you're supposed to act. I was put into the box of a lonely weirdo, so I've always been that unsocialized weirdo. But my friend was put into the box of the, hey, you're with this group, this group acts more like, instead of like 6-year-olds acting how 6-year-olds are supposed to act, they acted like 16-year-olds. And they like instantly like crushed my feelings. Like they wouldn't say mean words or anything. They just would make empty promises. And as a 6-year-old, that's like one of the worst things that can happen to you, is your friend, who's been your friend your whole life, tells you, hey, sure, I'll play with you on Thursday. And then Thursday comes around and they're like, oh, I forgot. But they can clearly see you on the playground waiting. And so really it's kind of stupid now, but as a 6-year-old, that kind of like tore apart our friendship.
I'm friends with my bullies now because we were little kids and we grew out of it, and it wasn't their fault because no one told them it was wrong. So it wasn't really their fault at all. So yeah, so there's cyberbullying, and then cyberbullying is a whole different level of stuff because there's not usually, sometimes there's a face to the person, but other times there isn't. I don't know that much about it, but cyberbullying, everyone can usually see it if it's on social media or it's there forever. And I'm not saying that face-to-face getting picked on hurts any less or hurts more, because I'm sure they hurt the exact same amount, because someone's telling you that you're a loser or you're not a good person or you're ugly. Not okay. And then, of course, bullies, sometimes they could have gotten picked on. So this happened when I switched schools. A girl in my class, she had gotten picked on too. So we switched the same year into new schools. And instead of letting other people start picking on her, she started picking on other people before they could. This is a weird topic.
So, does anybody else have anything else to say on like personal experience? All right. So, Reese, were you gonna say something? Or-
I was just gonna ask if anyone has like any friends that have been bullied, like, and they know their stories, like
Not really for me.
secondhand, kind of, not like directly face at you.
Not me. Do you?
Well, I know some of my friends have been bullied. I just don't know what happened.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. I do have experience with it. I just can't remember the story too well. So if it comes back, I will say.
So, do we want to like move on to maybe like I want to say like the morals of bullying and like, where to draw lines in the sand. And, it seems black and white, but, where does, because, a lot of times, people try to make it seem like, oh, this bully, it's my friend. Or so where's like, playful teasing and actual bullying, where's that line drawn in the sand? Now, obviously it's different for every person. So uh, I know that, my friends will tease each other sometimes, and it really is hard because every person is different. So obviously, like, this is where the line is, everybody. You can't do that. It's impossible for everybody. But maybe we could, just discuss it a little bit.
I feel like the line, at least for me personally, is because my family gives everybody a lot of crap about anything, and we're all playful about it. It's hilarious. But I feel like the line where we draw it is the tone that you're saying the words in. If you're saying the words in like a semi-playful way, but you're like, you just need to do this, but it was like you're giving them crap at the same time as you're telling them what to do. I mean, that's kind of bordering on the line, but still, it all depends on what the tone you're saying it in, at least for me.
Well, the line between just playful joking and actually being very mean can sometimes be quite gray, I think. And this is just my opinion, just generalized opinion on stuff. So don't take me too seriously if you don't agree with me. You go. You haven't talked yet.
It's fine.
Well,
What is happening? You're both talking at the same time.
The line where, like, it goes from playful to being, like, mean is obviously different for everybody. Like, earlier this year, my friend was kind of playfully teasing with me about my age because I'm 14. And he was like, wouldn't include me in some conversations because I was too young, so to say. And after a while, it started to kind of get to a place where it was like, it almost didn't seem playful, even though it was still to him, but it wasn't to me. So
yes. Jokes like that can turn very hurtful very quickly if they go on for long enough or even short enough, because they don't know that they're hurting this person usually if they're just jokingly playing around.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't know because it's you, obviously. They don't know what you're feeling. So they don't mean bad, but they can still hurt very much, which can then cause issues, which can then cause the said person to blow up at them or have arguments and they don't know what's going on.
Everybody.
Your audio just cut out. What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
Okay. So for me, I guess it's hard for me to say how it is really my personal experience because it takes a lot to offend me. I really don't get offended by much stuff. I take most things as a kind of a joke. But I guess it would depend on the topic. Nothing really directed towards. Yeah, it would really depend on the topic for me. And I'm yet to find, I guess, too many topics that would actually genuinely offend me because it's probably because of just like the way I look at jokes in general. I just think that when people, because obviously this is me personally, but I'm just like, okay, life is too short to spend time for me, getting, offended on certain things unless, it's actually personally hurting me. So, and it's worked a lot. And for me, at least, it's worked. I really like, just having, most things are just, one big joke or whatever. But for other people, I think people need to be considerate and say, okay, well, my line is different than theirs. And it's not too hard to observe how people really take this, how people take it. we don't realize it, but we're very good. I mean, we're by humans. We're very good at, seeing other people's feelings. It's not that hard to see how people are feeling. It can be at certain times, but just try your best to see what's going on, and when in doubt, just weigh the pros and the cons. The pros are, oh, maybe we'll laugh at this. The con is, okay, this person might actually get offended, and maybe we don't want that. Again, and I think this moves into like a bit of another topic, like what's the difference between just talking and speaking freely and saying something that's hurting somebody. Like, where do we draw the line? I think we can all agree that on a moral sense, bullying or teasing somebody with the intent to harm them emotionally. I get physically, it's self-explanatory. I'm pretty sure we can all agree physically hurting somebody is not okay, and the law recognizes that is that too. But I think we have to see teasing. Where, because oh man, I just lost my train of thought. I was just but teasing, it can be, it's different. Like where. Because I think we can all agree morally that teasing somebody with the intent to harm them emotionally is wrong. But at what point is it like? Because should any, this is a personal opinion, I'm asking all of you, in your opinion, should any of this be outlawed in just speaking? I think we can all agree encouraging somebody to harm someone else or themselves in a real life way is completely wrong. But just saying things in a teasing manner, should that be actually, illegal in any way, shape, or form?
No,
Well,
it shouldn't be
not
illegal.
really. Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
well, bullying is obviously not the right thing to do, and obviously it's good schools and mostly everyone says bullying's bad, no bullying, don't do this kind of thing. But just joking around or teasing, if you do that, it kind of, if you like make that illegal somehow or make it seem a bad thing, it could probably make people very upset. And it's not always a bad thing just joking around with your friends like that. But obviously, it could turn very bad very fast and very easily. So it really just depends on the person whether they think it's okay or not.
I don't feel like if you did make bullying or playfully teasing like that, was that what you said?
I think it would be something along like the lines of, it wouldn't just be like teasing, it'd be something like, oh, you look like this, you're stupid, you're dumb, that, but to the nth degree, and it would be qualified in the law as hate speech. In this hypothetical world, it would be hate speech.
Yeah, I don't feel like that would go over very well, because I feel like it would make people do it more almost, and it would end up being a lot worse. It was
That
illegal in schools and stuff.
I agree with you. I don't think that would go over very well, even if it shouldn't happen, because then people are going to do it because it's speaking. It's very hard to make a law against speaking or say you can't say this stuff or you get in trouble. That's very hard to monitor because it's words. There's no physical proof or evidence except for what someone says.
I feel like bullying on a sense or like picking on someone should not be illegal, but it should be at least frowned upon, which it is frowned upon. But again, like Emma said, it's very hard to monitor that stuff unless you actually have like proof. There's nothing anybody can do ever. And for me personally, what we were talking about before, it depends on if you know the person well enough that you can give them like enough sarcasm or enough crap or whatever. Like if you can playfully tease them about something. Like if you know the person well enough, go for it. If you know that you're not going to hurt them, if you know they're going to take it as a joke. But until you like fully know the person that you're speaking to, I would not recommend giving them a bunch of crap or anything like that.
Well, also, if someone's getting bullied, a lot of the time they don't tell anyone. Because if you tell someone, say a teacher or a parent or some sort of authority figure, it usually, most of the time, it makes it worse because then said bullies get in trouble and then they go back and retaliate. So they're 10 times worse than they were before.
So, I think all of you asked like sort of question like, oh, how this would be enforced. Well, actually, this is a theory I had. I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, of course, but I'm pretty sure in Canada, it's illegal to be a Holocaust denier. Basically, you can't say the Holocaust didn't happen. It's classified as hate speech, and that is against the law. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure Canada does have hate speech laws like that. So it would be enforced something like that. Obviously, you can't prove if I'm sitting in my home and I'm like, hey, my friend, that Holocaust definitely didn't happen, right? Wouldn't be able to be enforced in that situation. But if other people see it, it could basically, or even not even against the law, but just like so bad that, people are ostracized more than if they were being bullied. You know what I mean? I just think that people, we need to understand, that while it's bad, there are these really, really strict, anti-bullying policies that you see sometimes that are sometimes even worse than actually getting bullied. If you look at it, if you look at these policies, it's like, well, and the problem is with that is that, and obviously, we can all agree, bullying with, intending to harm somebody, that's so morally wrong. We can see that. But if you look, because, sometimes it really isn't clear for a lot of people, where does the line of bullying lie? And and obviously we should have policies in place just to discourage bullying in general. But to the point of how subjective something like this is. Unfortunately, this is something where we can't objectively measure what, is happening here. It's a subjective point of view. One person will say, I was just teasing, we were just having some fun. And then another person will say, this person was bullying me and, enact your anti-bullying policy, something like that. So, and there's really no big solution to this, unfortunately, other than just hopefully calm heads will prevail.
There's an active map of all the hate groups in the U.S. and a lot of places have better rules and laws than the U.S. I've noticed, because we have a bunch of hate groups in the U.S. But like you were saying, Canada, you can't deny that the Holocaust didn't happen. You can't deny that fact. Not only is it in history, there's also a lot of proof that it happened. So who to anyone's denying it and why they had to make a law against it? Wow. It's kind of ridiculous.
I think it's like less of the fact that, these people, I think we can all agree it's kind of ridiculous to deny the Holocaust, but I think it's the fact that it is, almost it's like, where do we, and I think we might do an episode on free speech in the future, so I'm just going to quickly touch on this because, we don't want to take things away from that episode if it does happen. It's like, I think people should be able to say what they want unless they're encouraging someone to harm someone else or themselves in a real way. If you're saying, hey guys, I'm exercising my free speech, but go blow up that building over there. This has actually happened. There was people like they think it's free speech when they say, we should go attack this person. It's not. I just wanted to briefly touch on that. There's a line between free speech and terrorism, but I don't believe in hate speech laws being, but it was getting off topic here. So I guess go back to Blaine. Does anyone else want to bring something up on the topic?
Do we want to start like a new thing on bullying? Like something else?
Like the effects that it has on people?
Or do we want to talk a little bit more about what can go on in the bullies' lives to make them why
What goes on in the bully's life to make them want to bully someone else?
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
I know there's multiple different things. Like, it could be that they've been bullied before, which we have said. It could also be, like, what's going on in their personal lives, too. So, anyone else can touch up on this. I don't really feel like it.
So does anyone else want to go? Because I'll go, but I just talked. So does anyone else want to say this?
You can go ahead, Neil.
So I think that a lot of times, it can be repercussions. We've all heard it before. People bully because they've been bullied, or people bully because they have insecurities in their life. I think that's true in a lot of cases. Probably the majority of cases. But in some cases, they haven't been. We have to just think here, because perhaps, like, you have to, like, let's say some person is, what is, I think, also what's, like, the root cause of it? Like, do they just bully because they're like, let's just make fun of this person because they're weird and let's do that? Or is it because this person is being, because there also can be, like, this person, we can even see that when it's not bullying. If you see, like, somebody who's, like, if you see someone publicly doing something bad, and I'm not, I'm going to use an example in politics, and I'm saying this is what people do. I'm not saying this is what I do. I'm not saying this is what you should do. All right, so a good example is actually Donald Trump, and a lot of people, and I hear this all the time, they make fun of him constantly. They even, and I'm not supporting this. I'm not saying you shouldn't do this. I'm not doing this. I'm not trying to support a political candidate. I'm not trying to support Donald Trump or not support Donald Trump. Okay, all PSAs out of the way. But it's just, you see this happening where people that disagree with Donald Trump, they'll like see, like, oh, he's stupid, he's dumb, he's orange, and it's not like obviously this isn't a personal level of bullying, because we're not going up to Trump's face and being like, you orange piece of crap. but it's, I think we can agree that a lot of times people that say this aren't coming from a place of being bullied. They just see, and in their perspective, he's doing things that are morally wrong. Again, in their perspective, not in mine. He's doing things that are morally wrong, and because he's doing things that are morally wrong, he should be ridiculed. Maybe he should be ridiculed. And I'm not saying, and not all insults are directed at just his, appearance, and you just say, oh, you're just stupid. No, it also has to do with, things that he has done and things that he's doing. I'm not saying that, they're right or wrong. I'm saying that that's the reason they're doing that. And that doesn't always come from a place of, I have been bullied. So what do you think about that? Not really bullying, but criticizing because they've done things that are, at least in their mind, morally abhorrent or morally wrong.
Well, it happens to celebrities a lot. So you see someone that is obviously not someone you know, but you read about or you see on TV or you hear on the radio or see in magazines, just people that you definitely wouldn't meet and you have no clue who they actually are, and you just read all this stuff about them that probably isn't true, or you just don't like the way that they dress or they look or they act or what they support or what they don't support. So then people feel the need to go after them and say things to try and get other people to understand what they're doing is wrong or to make them stop. That's a form of bullying. If random people are constantly going after someone like that and saying you're stupid or what you're doing is wrong or just stop doing this and comments like that, that's a type of bullying.
To kind of add on to, like, the way with celebrities, how they get, like, stuff like that, is another reason people can, like, pick on and say things like this to celebrities is celebrities have things that people would want and they will a lot of times never get, So they say these things to make them feel better about themselves, even though it's not actually doing anything. That's all I have to say. Shut up.
So, yeah, go ahead. I didn't know you were gonna go.
I feel like a lot of, for like the political or celebrity like hate that they get, it's because of either something ridiculous or stupid that they did. Kind of like what Donald Trump's doing. He's using Twitter as like his main source of like political nonsense that one he should not be saying. Like with him saying like, hey, to North Korea, nukes coming to you, and then North Korea replying. You've probably seen the tweets. Then North Korea replying, nope, they're coming right back to you. And so it not only sends a fear to everyone else, but it's just, that's why Donald Trump gets made fun of, is because he says stuff that should not be said at all, ever. And especially with the way what he is now, he's our president of the United States. He shouldn't be saying this at all. He should be professional to the max. And so it's really like a thing of professionalism versus everything that they've done wrong, that people just turn those into memes, and then a lot of it's turned into hate, and then so on and so forth.
I definitely think that just a note on the whole, you are doing things morally wrong. You did something morally wrong. Therefore, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna say stuff to you. Like, I'm sure would any of us really feel morally wrong if Hitler was in the room and we said, hey, Hitler, you're a bit of a piece of crap. I don't really like you that much. I don't think I'm sorry, but I wouldn't feel that morally wrong if I insulted Hitler. I wouldn't have been like, oh, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, Hitler. It really comes to that. I wouldn't really feel bad if I hurt Hitler's feelings. But well, it's it comes to and also it happens when you just have to be careful when you're bullying them, if they, well, not bullying, but if you're like teasing bullying. If you're teasing them, bullying them, you might make them, want to compensate for that, and sometimes harsh ways. Like if you actually hear, really, it's just ironic, but I don't know if this is ironic or not, but people, sometimes they'll like cyberbully or bully people by saying when they do something wrong, or they act in a way where they're trying to compensate or do something like over the top. They're like, well, you must have been bullied as a child then, for doing that. You must have been bullied as a child. And it's in a weird way kind of funny, because you're bullying them for being bullied, and that's why they're doing these things. It's a really weird cycle of how it works, I think. And obviously some people aren't going to take it to heart. I probably won't take most insults to heart because I don't really care. But yeah, I just think that's something, to keep in mind. But, it comes back to the thing by saying, because, if you say bullying is wrong in every situation, and I guess if you look at it from an objective standpoint, it is wrong in every situation. But in a way, it's almost justifiable, because you'd have to ask yourself, would you feel bad for calling, Hitler a piece of crap? Because he obviously did a lot of very wrong and horrible stuff, And I just think that's something interesting to think about. Maybe not something that should be debated, just something to think about. Not that I'm justifying bullying.
Well, see, you take a normal 8-year-old or an 8-year-old that maybe doesn't pick up on certain social cues or might not be good at school, and then people will start picking on them, which I can understand what you're saying. If obviously, I don't think really anyone would feel bad about insulting Hitler or picking on him. I personally would not. But just because there are certain lines to draw where bullying, obviously, exactly what he's saying, bullying is completely unacceptable if you think about it morally, but there are certain people that do atrocious things that you obviously wouldn't really care if they got picked on or not, which I don't think I'm making sense now. But I think a lot of people see bullying happen and they don't realize what it is, or they just don't know how to help or what to do. Because a lot of the people that see it happening tend to be caught in the middle. So I had a friend, I'm not naming any of these people, and if they're watching this, you didn't really do that many things wrong, school fault. So I had to put that out there in case they're watching this. But anyway, she was caught in the middle between, we were all friends, group of friends, then they started picking on me, and she was stuck in the middle between wanting to be friends with me and not liking how they were treating me, but still wanting to be friends with the other people. So she didn't know what to do, so she turned into what you call a bystander. So they see bullying happening, or they're the friends of the bully or the victim, and they won't do anything. They just let it happen, which is as bad to a certain degree, obviously, because you're seeing someone get picked on and you're not doing anything about it. But a lot of people don't realize, like, if it just looks like they're joking around, that there is something actually wrong, and then even if they tell the adults or an authority figure, then the victim or the bully might be upset with them. The bully might start going after them, or the victim might be upset because they made it worse. I really hope I'm making sense.
You're making
You are.
sense. You're making sense, yeah.
I have a way to touch down on that a little bit more. What would be the right way to help without either bullying someone in order to help the victim get through it, or help the victim like to stop it? Would you take the drastic measure of bullying the bully to give them a taste of their own medicine, or would you go at it a whole new way? And what would that whole new way be?
Well, is it okay if I talk? Anyone else want to talk? I've been talking for a while.
No, go ahead.
Well,
ahead.
From my personal experience, what it makes me feel like when you get bullied, it doesn't matter if this person is a jerk and they're making you feel this way. No one should have to feel that way. Because, I'll be honest, it makes you feel like absolute crap, and it makes you very upset, and basically just a lot of the same words meaning the same thing. And then there are the bullies that will say, why don't you just go die or kill yourself? And some people actually do it because they make them feel so bad. So if a bystander is watching someone get bullied, usually the reason that they won't say anything is because A, they're scared of getting picked on themselves, or B, they don't really know anything's wrong, or the victim says they can handle it and leave me alone. But if you see someone get bullied, it doesn't matter if you're scared or if they don't want you to tell them. You should tell them. You should tell an adult, because if you let it go on for a very long time, it will turn out very bad for people. And so, tongue-tied. So sometimes people end up doing stuff. And you can understand if someone's scared of getting the repercussions, obviously. But it's very hard to get enough courage to say something. And even if you're seeing a bully picking on someone and you decide to give them a taste of their own medicine, it isn't right. You're just as bad as them, even if you have a good intention. So there is a way to defend people, but there is a very thin line of being able to defend someone and then bullying the bully. And it's sometimes hard to stay on the side of not starting to be a bully, but there is a way. It's just kind of hard to figure out. I'm not quite sure how to explain it. Anyone else want to talk?
You can go ahead if you want to keep going, but are you done, or do you want to?
I guess I could keep talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, when you see someone bullying and people don't do anything, they'll just ignore it, or they'll just pretend they're not seeing it, or then the bullies, if they have enough power, the bullies only have power if you give it to them. If you let yourself be scared of them, or you let them see that their words faze you, or their actions, then you're giving them power, you're giving them ammunition to keep firing back at you. They're poking to get a reaction, or to see you do something to get in trouble, or just to make you feel like you're like a piece of trash, which is horrible, but they are still people.
I also feel like there's a fine line between not showing the bully they're getting to you and just laying down and taking it.
Yes, there is.
So
You have a good point.
I always learn, like, after first grade, I learned that because I was also, like, technically, most people will call it bullying, I was bullied by my uncle, who is 18 now, still just as mean as he was when he was 10. But, like, I kind of learned that if you don't give them any power, they can't get to you. And also, I've made this rule. If you know me well enough, you won't bully me. But the bullies don't know, like, crap about me, so they have zero power. They can call me stupid, but they don't know me. They can call me fat. They don't know what I look like. Like, especially with online, because I hate making real life friends. I am so socially awkward as a person. I can really only talk to adults in real life, and that's about it. And then I just share my information about weather. But if you really give them no power, they have no power. So you can sit there and laugh at them. That's what I do. I sit there and laugh.
Well, see, well, it's very great that you can do that, but obviously you can tell children or teenagers or adults even that if the bullies don't have power unless you give it to them, it is very hard to actually do it, to actually act like it's never phasing you, or just to ignore them and let them get their firing session at you over with, or it's very difficult.
You're essentially like their punching bag, and being anyone's punching bag
Yes.
is never a good thing.
No.
Unless you're open to being a punching bag, unless you know you can, like, emotionally take that. It's probably not a good thing.
Yeah, but it is very hard, even if you don't show it on the outside, to not let people's words faze you. Even if they don't know you, if they do it for long enough, or you're insecure, or they just keep doing it and get everyone around you to start believing it, it's very difficult to not let it start feeling like it's the truth about you. Basically, a bully can brainwash your point of view about yourself or change it because, well, it's kind of like conditioning. So, like, if you break your foot jumping off the stairs, you're not going to jump off the stairs again because you have a bad memory associated with it. Or most people won't. And then if someone's picking on you for long enough, then you know that you're smart, or you're skinny, or you're not ugly. But if someone keeps telling you that you are, over and over and over again enough, then it will start, will start only being what you see. Why do I feel like I'm the only one talking here?
Because you have a lot of stories to tell and you have
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
lots of
advice.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm rambling.
That's
You're
okay.
pretty much just
Yeah.
teaching all of us stuff.
It's perfectly fine.
Well, I have an invisible medical illness that I got a few years back, which basically no one believes, even if I explain it to them, and most doctors don't believe either. So I got bullied for a very long time before I got sick, and then I started getting picked on because I was sick at a new school by adults. So I I kind of have a lot of experience with this, and I'm gonna have issues with people for the rest of my life. It's not gonna go away.
I have a good question.
That's all right. Go ahead. Yeah.
I just thought about this because I was bullied when I was 6. What's like the age where everyone starts taking your bullying seriously? Like,
Depends
because
on the people.
the school didn't take bullying, like, because my mom even went to the school and she was like, dude, these kids are bullying my daughter. Do something about it. And they're like, they're 6 years old. They're not bullying.
Yeah.
They're just being playful. They don't know any better. And it's like, teach them better then.
Yeah. Teach them better.
Yeah.
Like, so
If
what's
they're
the
little
age?
kids,
What's really the age where adults and people start taking your bullying seriously?
I think the younger you are, obviously, the harder it is to really believe that's bullying. Because, like, if you see a 5-year-old picking on another 5-year-old, then you're just thinking it's just a little kid being kind of a brat. But obviously, it's not right still.
No.
Still,
But
yeah.
it's just something that you just kind of see, oh, these little kids are being mean to each other, or that person's getting excluded because they're little kids. It's just what they think. Obviously, it's not okay, but it's just something that most people believe or view.
So I actually wanted to bring up something, and perhaps we should actually go to break in just a few minutes. But so actually, the power dynamic in bullying and how adults can actually play a big part in that actually isn't, acknowledged by most authority figures, including schools, because of the fact that it's run by adults. So why would you acknowledge the fact that, adults are doing the bullying? And I think we should,
Oh,
I think
yes.
we should definitely talk about that, the power dynamic. But do we want to do that after the break? Because it's about 4:52.
All right.
I think she was trying to say something.
Yeah,
Okay,
Addie. Go ahead.
I forgot.
Sorry.
What was it? Oh. Well, actually, real quick. To add. Oh, yeah. I don't personally go to school, so I wouldn't actually, know much about it. But I feel like in high school, if it's brought to the adults' attention, they might look into it a little bit more. But even if they witness it, I don't feel like they're going to say anything. Like the adults, if they witness anything, and they don't really know what's going on, they're not going to actually say anything about it, and they're just going to who here goes to school?
I go to Sudbury School. It doesn't really apply there.
I was in school until I was in 1st grade, and then I left right before I got to 2nd grade.
Yeah, I left in 2nd grade.
I'm going into high school, so.
My guess is just that high school, if it's brought to the adults' attention, they might actually do something about it. But if it's
Well,
not, they're just gonna.
One quick thing before we leave on break. High school, there's kind of a thin line between adults being, well, the teachers and obviously the people running it are they're old enough to figure this out themselves, and this kid is getting bullied. We should help them because these are older kids. They're not over-exaggerating.
Yes, but will they help them? It's not. They're not forced to help them.
I think it really depends on the adult and the school, because I've had bad experiences and I've had good experiences.
I do feel like there are definitely teachers that if they witness some stuff, I don't feel like they would help. Like there are definitely teachers that wouldn't.
Oh yeah. There's definitely teachers that wouldn't help.
That would help too. So it all depends on the person. It all depends on what's going on. Like if it's like a physical fight, I bet most adults or even like an older kid would step in.
Yeah, unless the people that are causing the physical fights are terrifying to everyone around them.
That's true. So it can kind of go any way in any scenario. So, yeah.
Oh.
Are we about to go to break?
Yeah, so should we go ahead and go to break then?
Sure.
All right, so yeah, just after the break video is done, we'll be back. So stay tuned.
Here we go. 3, 2, now. Yeah? Go. Okay. Yo, get over here. Get over here. Get in here. Quiet. Get on the floor. Get on the floor. You want me to hurt you again? You want me to sock you in the face? Huh? Where's my paper?
I don't have it.
Where's my paper? Huh? Where's my paper?
Just let me go.
Huh?
Just let me go.
Where's my paper?
I'm sorry.
Sir? How you doing? How come you didn't help out? So I feel like a big issue in today's generation is bullying. Why does bullying continue and why doesn't anybody put a stop to it? So I thought, let's put a crime and let it happen right in front of people's faces and see what they would do. Because of course, change starts with the people, right?
Yes, it does.
Let's go. Stop running away from me, yo. I'm gonna get you regardless, okay? I know where you live.
What do you want?
I want my paper, all right? By tonight. I want my paper by tonight or you're gonna get socked in the face. Do you hear me?
Let me go.
Do you hear me? You want me to sock you right now? Do you want me to sock you right now? I will.
Just let me
Stop.
go.
Get over here.
Please,
Get over
please.
here. Why didn't you do my paper?
I'm sorry.
Why didn't you do my
Just let
paper?
me-
Stop.
Just let me
You want me
go.
to hit you?
No, I'm sorry.
What are you
please,
looking at?
Please.
You want me to hit you right now? You want me to sock you in the face?
Sorry,
Huh?
just let me go.
You want me to do what I did you?
Let me go.
You want me to do what I did to you last
No,
time?
no.
Why didn't you do my paper?
I'm sorry. Just let me go.
Don't make a scene. Don't make a scene.
Let me go.
Do you want me to choke
Let
you
me-
out?
No.
I want my paper by tomorrow at midnight.
sorry,
Stop.
please.
Stop.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I want my paper by tomorrow, okay?
It hurt.
What are you doing? Huh?
Recording you.
What are you gonna do? Put it on World Star?
Yeah, sure.
Why?
You bullying the guy.
Huh?
You bullying the guy.
Why does that have to do with you?
Because I'm on campus, I can't see anyone being like maltreated inappropriately.
You trying to get away, huh? You trying to get away? Huh? But what did I tell you? What did I tell you would happen next time? What did I tell you would happen next time, huh? What are you doing? Oh, sir. There's a camera right there. We're seeing what would happen in a bullying real life situation, and you did a great job right now, sir. You run away from me? No. You trying to run away from me? You want me to beat you up like I did last time, huh? Where's my paper? Where's my paper? My financial aid relies on you. You want me to sock you in the face right now?
Just let me-
You want me to sock you in the face, really? You want me to do that again, huh? You want me to do what I did last time?
Wait, dude, stop. What are you doing?
Who are
You
you?
know him? I don't know, but I'm checking my email like that.
This is none of your business. Sit out of
I don't know who
it.
you are either, but can you leave him alone?
No, get out of my
No,
face.
you get out of my face. You're hurting this poor guy. I don't even know who the you are.
Get away from me.
I think you should leave. I think you should go. I don't know you, but I think you should go.
When your girlfriend isn't here, I'm coming back for you.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
Huh?
Just let me
You
go.
want me to hurt you again?
No,
Huh?
no.
You want me to? Huh? You want me to punch you right now? Huh? What would you do?
No. Sorry. Stop it.
So you're really not gonna help me with my paper?
No.
You're not gonna help me up with my paper?
Just let me
huh?
go. No.
Huh?
I'm sorry.
You remember what happened last time?
Please.
Remember what happened last
stop.
time?
Stop.
Huh?
Stop. No.
Why?
I don't want.
Are you gonna help me?
No. Just let me go.
Hey, everybody looking right now. There's a camera right there, and you guys just walked away from a guy getting brutally beat, and you guys did nothing to help him. To stop bullying in America would be really sincere and kind of you guys to try to do something to stop something like that at hand, instead of just walking away and acting like blind victims to something that's going on. I'm done with this video, yo. This is a joke.
I mean, I know I'm a very small girl, but honestly, when I just see any person hurting anyone, especially physically, like I have to step in.
He was about to get really hurt. I was about to beat him up.
I'm sorry, but I don't think this is my business since I don't really want to get in any trouble, so I'm so sorry about that.
What?
What's going on here?
What is it to you?
Was it to me?
Yeah.
Someone's beating up somebody else in my university? That's not something to me.
Is it your problem?
Yes, it is.
Can I tell you something? We just wanted to see what would happen in this kind of predicaments. The camera's right there. Please don't kill me because you're scaring me right now. How did that make you feel?
Horrible.
Yeah?
Horrible.
How come you didn't want to jump in and try anything?
I was about to if you continued.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just let me go.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Can I tell you guys something real quick? Turn it back to me. Turn it back to me. Why bullying occurs in America? Because people like that don't stop it when they see it happen right in front of their eyes.
That was the weirdest response ever. Can I talk to you? No.
Did you catch it all?
Hi.
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 Welcome back to Youth on Subjects of the World, and we're still talking about bullying.
Can I hear you?
We have Martin and Faith with us.
Am I heard?
Yes.
Yes.
You are heard.
Okay. I'm going to turn my camera off for a second while I figure out something.
Okay.
So I said this well before the break, but I think I want to talk a little bit about the power dynamic in bullying and how that can be. I think we can all agree that there is because without power, there really isn't that much
No,
bullying.
it's too quiet.
The power either to, be flashy with,
Okay, we're good.
zingers and, quick insults, that can be a power, or power like physical power or power of age, and, that reduces confidence because they're larger in stature and, you don't know what to do. They're older than you. They've seen, just pure physical power where they're just, or power held in a sense where they have more power than you in that situation. And I think the power dynamic of bullying is very important because if they don't have the power to affect you, then, there is no bullying. You have to think about power, and even talking to somebody and getting them offended, that's a power when it comes to bullying. But I think what people don't talk about that much is how adults can play into that power role because they have, a lot more power in different situations. And it isn't really in a sense of bullying, but maybe it's not bullying in the traditional sense of the word, but I think it's definitely very interesting. Like if you're talking, I think I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but they have. I think everyone's heard this saying. You need to have respect for your elders. That saying, and I disagree with that saying. I'll give you respect if you earn my respect. I don't care. Just because you're gonna die sooner than me, you don't just get my respect. That's not how it works. But that's not. Yeah. But so. And, in that it's a big power role. And obviously you won't be seeing any, signs saying adults don't bully children, adults don't do this. Because, well, all those campaigns are run by adults and they don't see that as a serious thing. And when it comes to marketing, one of the biggest things you can have is someone ridiculing you. And if they ridicule you and they, just make your ad campaigns seem stupid, I think we can all see that happening. A campaign saying adults are being mean to children in this way. And I think we can all see that being ridiculed and made fun of. Like, look how stupid that is. Adults don't do that. I think we can all see that happening in the real world if some sort of campaign were to come out like that. And it's just the fact that, you can't talk to some adults as equals. You know what I mean? And if you're getting scolded, like even if it's like, even just a random person, they seem to have this sort of almost entitlement to, I am older than you. It can be a random person. I know I've experienced this. They are older than you, therefore you need to respect them. Their opinions are worth more than yours. And if you're in an argument with them, I get into arguments with lots of people. I have people who know.
Did he freeze for anyone else?
Yeah, he
Yes.
froze for me too.
I think he froze for all. Like,
Okay.
Yep,
So,
Neil's frozen. He's gone.
Yeah.
Frozen? Am I still frozen?
Now
Nope,
you're on.
No, you're back now.
Yeah, you're back.
Good. Yeah, that was weird. I saw myself freeze too. But so it's just it's a really, and I know I've experienced that because if I get into like I don't want to use the word argument because it has such a negative connotation to it, but maybe like a debate type setting where we're trying to talk about different topics and see, and we both have opposing views on that, and and they'll be like, oh, well, you can't talk to me like that because I'm an adult and this, and this, that, the other. And when it comes to younger kids in a state of, emotional, and I've personally witnessed this, younger children in a state of, maybe they're fragile emotionally speaking, and the adult comes around, starts screaming, and it really is a power game. I honestly think it's pathetic that these people need to play a power game, and they need to have this power complex over younger children. It doesn't bother me because I tend it takes a lot to offend me. But when I see these younger children, there was this one this person. It was like some sort of door, and it was being shaken. It wasn't me or anyone doing it or whatever. And this adult came over and it was like, "You need to stop shaking that door!" Just screaming her head off. And the person who actually did it was I don't know how old this person was, but they were very young. And this person was crying and went away. And it's insane. It's insane is what it is. This power dynamic that gets played into, these certain things. And if it's really pathetic that some of these people need to go into power, need to play this game of power. When it comes to small children and them going off and crying because, oh my God, that's perfect. But just talking about the most serious thing, my phone falls. But and it's really pathetic that if you talk about adults being mature, then you should be mature enough to not have to play a power game with with small children, that some of them don't have the emotional capacity because they go off crying, and it could damage them emotionally, sometimes permanently. Yeah. And I think nobody really recognizes that.
We've kind of strayed away from this just a little bit, but I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Is the whole giving the bully power and not giving him power? Well, one other thing to touch on to that is if it does get to you, but you're not showing the bully that it's getting to you, and it just continues and continues because the bully doesn't think they're hurting you, then it'll continue till they think they are, and it'll just get worse and worse, but you're still not showing them that it's affecting you, even though it is. So, again, I touched on this a little bit earlier. There's a fine line between not letting you show the bully that it's getting to you and just laying down and taking it. Because you could just be laying down and taking it, but also not showing the bully it's getting to you. Like, strong face, kind of.
That's kind of easy to do until you blow up at said bully.
Yeah, no.
But a little bit about the adult thing is that adults, let's say teachers, types of authority figures, maybe not your parents. There are certain ways that they could kind of bully you, like maybe not in the sense of the word of bullying that we think, like when we hear it, but they could be very negative to you about certain situations and things, make it very difficult at school and not believe you when you tell them things. And that can be very hurtful, obviously, because it's an adult. And people usually trust teachers who are adults more than just a random person. I think I'm still making sense. But so if an adult this happens a lot with illnesses. I have personal experience with this. School wouldn't help or do anything for me for accommodations because I was sick and tried to kick me out, which is illegal. So that was not okay, but they did make me, adults, if they do something like that, they can make you feel even worse than if it's bullying. Because they're an adult. They're supposed to know better, or they're supposed to be able to stop this. So if an adult's doing that to you, who exactly do you tell? Which can be very hurtful.
Yeah.
I really hope I'm still making sense.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
You are.
when an adult is bullying you, it's not seen by society as bullying because usually when you think bullying, most people think like a kid pushed up against the locker by like a stereotypical buff kid with like a skull t-shirt and braces holding someone up against the locker. But that's not what bullying is like. And it's even harder to recognize it for adults to recognize it when adults are bullying children because it's not seen as bullying. It's just seen as like discipline, or I'm just telling them this or that, or like they're wrong because I'm older so I know it's right. And that's not okay. And it wouldn't be okay even if like if it the funny thing about this is if it was like a 16-year-old doing it to like a 10-year-old, everyone recognizes that as wrong. But if it's like a 26-year-old doing it to like a 15-year-old, that's okay. Like as long as they're not technically an adult, they're not allowed to bully. But once you're an adult, you're allowed to do whatever you want. And it's kind of almost our society's fault because we raise children saying, oh, once you're an adult, you'll be able to do this and that. And you don't really like, once you become an adult, you just think you're free to talk to children the way adults talked to you when you were little.
Exactly, and that is our society's fault because we're literally sometimes raising bullies, which is very messed up.
On a more
something I wanted to talk to you guys about, like I heard you guys talking about celebrities earlier, so I kind of have a unique situation. I had this neighbor who I was like really close friends with, and we would like sleep over each other's houses all the time and stuff like that. And like we were both on this app called Musical.ly. It was like a lip syncing app, and it was like really small. And one day she just got like full blown famous on it. Like she got this thing called like a crown, and it like makes you a higher up kind of person. So I had these girls from my old school that I knew, and they had like met this girl at an old birthday party from like years ago before she was famous. And they like found out she was famous and started worshiping her and just like writing stuff like on her live streams, on her videos, like, do you know Faith? Do you know Faith? I don't see her in any videos with you. And like the reason we weren't hanging out anymore is because her mom didn't feel it was like appropriate because she was older than me, which like I don't really get because I'm an unschooler, so I think we're all kind of equal with age, but it was kind of her mindset. So it just became this whole thing, which is still going on, of these girls just like putting my address on there, like, oh, do you live in this complex with her? Like insanely. And they started like putting the picture as their profile picture from that birthday party, like, this group picture with the girl. And I like talked to the girl about it, and my mom talked to her mom about it, and her mom thought, well, oh, it's just kids on the internet, and my daughter is just doing that as a job, and she's getting paid for it, so it doesn't matter. And the girl actually called me and like kind of flipped out and was like, well, I'm not your therapist. I can't do anything about this. And thought I was having the girls write my name in the comments, like put my name out there and get famous or whatever, which was really weird. And yeah, it's just been this nonstop situation of that. And these girls who've been commenting, like I reached out to their moms as well, and their moms were supposed to schedule like a meeting and all sit down and talk about this and stop these girls from doing this and like stealing their parents' phones to like write these comments and stuff. And it just never happened. So
to touch back briefly
That's not
on
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is happening too.
Wait. So they're putting your address on in public comments.
They doxed
thousands of people writing, you know Faith from this name of the complex. And if you Google the complex name, the exact address and phone number for the building comes up. And like they keep trying to get into my complex too and lie.
That's really, really, really not good.
That's, they
No.
doxed you. They just literally
are they
just
like?
doxed you.
Do they have any concept of the fact that they're like, basically, hey, any serial killers want to come
That's
kill this
illegal,
person?
by
Like,
the way. That's
they
illegal.
have-
You can't
They
do
don't
that.
care.
do they
That's illegal.
have they thought about it, or are they just like completely unaware, or are they
I've
seriously not
talked to
care at
them
all?
so many times about it, and it's like they don't understand any of it.
Do they know that's illegal? Because that's doxing and that's illegal.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
it's and their
illegal to
parents
do
don't
that.
care, even though they're
Oh.
like stealing the parents' phone when they're asleep and stuff, and like going on writing this.
It's absolutely illegal to release somebody's personal information on the internet, how to get to their
Yeah,
house,
and
how to
this
do this.
Crown
Again,
famous girl, I have to share an elevator, and, like a
dangerous.
pool, and the
It's a violation
complex.
of privacy.
And she's like mad at me because she thinks I'm having these girls comment my name because I want to be famous and use her to get famous. Like, no, that's not.
That is also not okay.
That doesn't even make sense. Like, if you're like, yeah, I'm going to publicly post my address. That's how I'll get famous.
Yeah, that's how I get famous. I get somebody to come to my house and try to kill me. That's how I get famous.
She like literally called me and like just said all this. Like I was trying to use her, and I felt really bad about it because I didn't want her to think that. And she completely just dropped me, and she dropped a few other of her old friends too.
That's
I think
ridiculous.
I think this touches on just a point of, how situations can get out of hand by just not having, if somebody ignores it, like in this example, somebody should have taken some action and been like, hey, you can't do that.
Yeah, one of these
Obviously.
girls' parents were like, "Oh, well, she didn't mean anything by it, by like commenting that stuff."
Yeah,
and
I didn't mean anything by. I'm gonna post everybody's address in the. I think this might be posted on YouTube, right? I'm gonna post everyone's address in the comments of that. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, it's fine. I mean,
totally, not at all.
Well, it's one thing to say, okay, they didn't mean anything by it. We'll take it down. We'll stop doing it. But it's another thing to say we didn't mean anything by it and then continue to do it, knowing
Hey,
that
Martin, Fake,
literally, like
We're
just a
not
couple of
taking
days ago,
anything
it's
down.
still happening.
Oh
It's
my
just
god, that's ridiculous.
still going on.
It's still happening.
Yes.
See, this is the problem. When somebody doesn't take, unfortunately, sometimes action needs to be taken in a real way. And in this situation, it's like we were just talking about, parents, bullying. Well, okay. Come on. Parents bullying, parents bullying children because not, in the traditional sense, but, having that power situation. But parents also have, not parents, I'm talking about adults, but adults and especially parents actually in this certain case have even more power when it comes to, because, obviously the whole, one of the whole points of this podcast is that kids have a voice. They should be respected in this way, in this way, in this way. But, everybody around us is still, is still learning. We're all still learning, and people need to be, that is an illegal thing that is happening.
I think their parents need to be a lot more aware of it.
Yeah, you need to
I
contact.
don't know if it's a form of bullying, but
And I think in a way this
definitely
ties
it's
into the power.
definitely not only is it bullying, but it's an invasion of privacy.
yeah,
And it's
For
cyberbullying.
address
they'll say like,
It's
"Oh, you can
private.
just block them," but they'll make new phone numbers on weird apps and like new fake accounts and like
That's bullying. There's no way
That's
that's not bullying.
cyber-
That has to be.
That's
that has to be.
stalking. That sounds
it
like
really
stalking.
feels like, and they try to get into my complex to try like.
Oh my
come
god,
find
that's
the girl.
stalking! Report that, please! Oh my god, for your
You
own
need
safety.
to call the cops.
You
For
need
your
to
own
call the
safety,
cops
please
and
call
I
the
don't know
cops.
how the cops will consider that.
It's
Cyberbullying.
illegal to
Seriously,
dox
'cause
people.
it's
It's illegal to dox people.
All of those things are all types of illegal.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
all legal. You cannot
Like,
post people's
Because I never
information.
thought this would come from these random girls who went to my old school who like met her at a birthday party, and it's just been this whole group of them.
Yeah, I
like,
can't post
obsessed
you guys'
with
number. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
like,
that's illegal. Like Martin Faith, I can't post your numbers down in the comments. Be like, hey, call them, text them up. Shoot them
that's
the deets.
really
I can't do that.
unless you're like, I think unless they have like, especially considering you've asked them multiple times to stop, you've asked their parents to tell them to stop.
Yeah.
You need to report them to the site, and you need to why are they so dead set on?
I actually tried reporting them to the actual site, and the site does nothing. I tried reporting, blocking, they're putting my address publicly with like 1 million people on a live stream, and the website did nothing.
Yeah.
Have there been any
Call
repercussions? Has
me.
anybody
That's
called you?
right.
Has anybody random called you and said this? about it yet?
No, because they
Okay,
don't have.
good.
They didn't put my actual phone number out there yet, but they did put
Oh,
like,
okay,
in my
good.
complex and stuff.
This is all types of wrong.
Yeah,
And
I think
they're
this
always
really
commenting to the girl like, "Oh, I can't wait to meet you again. Like, I miss you so much." And
This-
they didn't pay any attention to her at that birthday party, and suddenly they're
this
acting
puts
like they care.
this puts
Because
so
she's
much.
famous.
Yeah, the power dynamic when it comes to adults and especially parents in this particular situation comes into effect where it really is as effective as doing something not that's bad and not doing something when something bad is happening, when you have that actual power. Because this isn't playful teasing. This is
No.
illegal releasing somebody's personal information.
And like another random weird thing that just kind of feels degrading is like, you guys who've met me know I wear like cat ears and stuff all the time because I just do. Like this girl who's my neighbor will put on like cat ears one day and say I wear them the next day or wear like a certain hairstyle. These girls will text me or like write me and be like, "Oh, you're copying her. Why do you keep copying this girl? Why are you so obsessed with her?" And I'm like, "You're the ones who are obsessed with her. I didn't
hate
do
that
anything
mentality.
but sit here and like live my life."
I absolutely hate that mentality.
Bad.
Yeah,
That's
it's
messed up.
bad.
I just wanted to say something.
This is cyberbullying. You
And
know
I
that,
don't know how to
right?
get through to the
Yeah,
famous girl and tell her like,
It's
I'm not doing this.
it's cyberbullying, but not only is it cyberbullying, but it's also illegal.
Yeah, it's
In
illegal.
multiple ways. It's
Forget cyberbullying. This is illegal.
yeah, like you can't post people's address. You can't follow them to your like they can't follow you to your house without you knowing, and then try and sneak in. Is that what they tried to do?
They like tried to come into my complex and be like, "Oh, we're gonna go hang out with Faith," like, and they were trying to make plans with me one time, and they were like, "Oh, we can't wait to see you, blah blah blah. We haven't seen you in forever." I was like, "Okay, cool. You guys can come over or something." And they started posting on like Instagram and Musically like, "We're going to the famous girl's house," and not even mentioning me because they planned to go to her house and like look for her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
insane.
But so here's the thing. I just wanted to quickly respond to Martin. You were talking about the power dynamic with, adults in bullying, how to not recognize that as bullying. And I just wanted to say something about that, Martin. Why can't you just respect your elders, Martin? Like, I mean, come on, just respect your elders, man. Come on. Why can't you just do that?
Hey, Sonny boy, I'm like a month older than you.
I'm so sorry.
Boomer!
So sorry. I'm so sorry. I need to respect you now. Now that you're older than me, I need to. There was this one kid, actually, who thought that because I was older than him, I could tell him whatever. I could literally tell him what to do, and he had to do it. It was weird. Like, and I knew this was stupid. It was a while ago. And basically, we just found out that I was like, I don't know, a month older than him or something like that, or like maybe a few months. And I was like, okay, that's something. I just learned that. Because we thought we were just the same age, we didn't know who was older, and then he's like, "You're older than me. You can tell me what to do." And I was just like, "This is a while ago. This is a while ago." But even then, I was just like, "That's stupid." And I'm just like, "Really, I can? That's stupid." He's like, "No, you really can't." I was like, "Okay, put your pants down." And this kid, he literally reaches for his pants, and it's like, obviously, he didn't do it. Someone stopped him, like, "Don't do that. You don't have to do that." And I was trying to then I started like, "No, you don't have to do what I say just because, I'm older than you." And that really plays into, it really does play into the whole society thing where if I'm older than you, do what I say, you have to respect me. And that really can play into a power dynamic when it comes to bullying. And I think it plays a bigger role than people think. A much bigger role than people think.
When I was in school, it would be like, "Oh, if you talked to the 8th grader or something and you were in 5th grade, it was like this big deal."
Cardinal sin.
Yeah, they're just like a year older than you or something. It's like, "Oh my God, you talked to them."
Cardinal sin.
Can I touch briefly on the the parent bullying the child?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's not in this society or in this world. It's not considered bullying. It's considered child abuse. A child can literally report their parent for child abuse nowadays.
Well,
yeah, but
that's
so
a
traumatic.
major extreme.
Yeah.
Well, depending on the bullying, I guess. But if someone's talking down to you or just being mean to you, saying that your parent is abusing you, that's a really big deal, and people shouldn't just like. I did see on the news once in the last like year or two of someone who did that just because like they had an argument with their parents, and that can like seriously destroy a parent's life.
A big
really
thing to
quickly. Even false accusations like that one. So I feel like unless
False accusations are taken as seriously as real accusations until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's guilty until proven innocent. Our justice system is innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, like it's hard to like. It's hard for me to like separate the two because obviously bullying is bad, but there's other ways to handle it without going to the police. And
No, but
that's
I think
like, it's like, I don't know, if it's like physical bullying, then yeah. But if it's like, I don't know. There has to be like a fine line between when it's okay to do that and when it's not.
Yeah, that's why I haven't gone to the police yet, is I felt like that was a far stretch, so that's why
that is illegal. That's 100%
I had my mom try and talk to that famous girl's mom, and her mom was just like, oh, it's just the internet, and like, I don't want your daughter going near my daughter anymore when she's working and like taking these Musical.ly videos. Like,
it's just the
stupid little
internet.
video
Yeah, but, like,
outside.
that's
and she's making a big deal of it.
It's bullying and it's stalking.
That's a different
It's so
situation.
many levels of illegal.
Like, it's different when you're publicly, like, if, say, someone, like an adult, publicly posted someone, like a child's information all over the internet. That's when you go to the cops. But if someone's just, like, talking down to you or just, like, bullying you on, like, a more personal sense and not on, like, I'm gonna beat you or I like getting into your head and telling you you're worthless or whatever, like, there's a very big difference between, like, bullying has a lot of different degrees in which, like, bullying can be anything from, hey, you look stupid, to I'm going to kill you, where do you live? Like, there's a lot of different forms of bullying, and it can come from anyone. Like, I'm going to try and go to the opposite here. Getting bullied by someone that's younger than you is really
interesting.
Because what are you supposed to do? And I'm going to go even further. What if a guy is bullied by a girl in, like, physical, I'm going to beat you up sense? The guy is technically the victim, but if it's going to be spun in another direction because
it's going to be spun
of
as
the gender of the
because of our society. They're going to see the girl as the victim.
When I was younger, there was someone who was a bully who was a girl, and they tried to punch me, and I defended myself, and they were all like, well, you can't hit a girl, and I was like, well, you just tried to hit me.
But it's fine.
And if it's self-defense, you can't hit a girl does not apply anywhere. Because if a girl's going to start it, someone's got to finish it no matter what gender you are.
Yeah, what really gets me is that people that, I'm 14 years old, and some kids that I know that are my age still think it is illegal to hit a girl. It is okay. It's illegal to hit a boy. It really brings up a lot of big issues, especially with, it's almost even, it really is a shame because of the fact that you just have, people that just don't know what they're talking about. And along the line, imagine this hypothetical situation where the repercussions could be felt. Imagine there's this girl who's been told all her life, boys can't hit girls. It's okay for girls to hit boys. You cannot obviously, attack somebody and too badly hurt them. Let's say this girl just, slaps or physically hits, a guy growing up. You could end up in jail. It could ruin your life with the assault charges. It really is a big deal. And back to the whole thing with, like, child abuse, it's like, it's like, a lot of times it's not even the parent that does it. It's like another adult, and they have this preconceived notion that I am older, I have the power, they should respect me, I am right because I am older and because I know more. And I think that's where the power comes from. The power comes from the confidence, in a way.
That can be true that older people do have more experience. Like, they definitely do have a lot of more experience than us kids in life. But that does not always mean they're right or they're wiser.
Yeah.
Like, they do
Definitely.
know a lot of our history and they've experienced a lot of it and more than we have. But, again, they're not up to, like, let's say for my grandpa, for instance, he just now got a smartphone. And so he's just now coming into the technology age, so he doesn't know everything that I know about technology. The kid, and my uncle always says this, the kid knows more about life now because of how, like, vastly our world is changing, from going from barely any technology when my mom was a kid to, holy crap, we have all the technology in the world. Everyone has a cell phone, everyone has a laptop, everyone has a tablet, and we're running on technology now. But back then, we weren't. We were self-sustaining, and we could actually run without technology. But then again, the kids are also more mature because of the technology.
And I think that brings up another thing with when it comes to arguing and debating with adults, because they have this notion that library is better than the internet. Experience and wisdom, I all have that, and I go to the library. You go on the internet. How could you know more than me? And they have this whole almost just, they have this very narrow mind that I have all this knowledge. Not to mention the fact that when it comes to the fact that, I have more experience, no matter what topic it is, they immediately think they know more. When probably I'm not going to pick okay, I'm not going to say it's an intellectual fight. I don't pick fights, but I'm not going to pick an intellectual fight if I think I'm going to lose normally, because not that I just go up to somebody like, you think you're right? Well, you're wrong, sucker. No, it's not like that.
Well, coming from someone who has debated with Neil,
Okay,
like
that was so long ago, Martin. You're going to keep bringing that up.
The last time you were here, there was a nonstop 20-minute thing where no one talked but Martin and Neil. So, I mean, you guys debate every single time. Just say it.
Well,
Are you debating the fact that we debate, Martin? I'm just saying. Are you about to debate the fact that we debate? I think that's.
No, I was making a joke.
Although we should debate that fact. No, I'm kidding. All right, but anyways, let's move on.
There is a fine line between a healthy debate and a fight debate. I think healthy debates are nice. Healthy debates let everyone experience like more information. You can gather information from that debate. But a fight is just clashing heads. There's no win, there's no lose.
There's a lot of mental preparation for arguing that a lot of people don't think about that, and it can tie into bullying. Unless you're in a place where you don't take things personally, say me and Neil are having an argument and he brings up a point, he's right, I'm wrong, and he happens to phrase it in a way where I could take it poorly, and I'm like, oh my god, I hate you, you're attacking me, and you got to get into a place where that's not your reaction, because that's not bullying, it's a conversation. But then there's people who are actually attacking you in a conversation if they disagree with you. That's what happens a lot on the internet is, oh, you think this, well, you're stupid. Bullying can happen like that, and a lot of people who do that don't think about the fact that that's bullying. They just think of it as having a conversation, and you don't hear that as much in a physical conversation, but over the internet, it's very common that conversations can turn into an insult battle in 5 minutes, just because someone happens to have one opinion. It happens a lot if someone happens to support Donald Trump, and all of a sudden everyone hates them, even if it has nothing to do with that. You could be arguing about which Star Wars movie is the best, and that can be mentioned, and then everyone's just going to think you're automatically stupid, so your opinion on Star Wars is stupid.
That's something that happens a lot on that Musical.ly app. Those girls will get in little mini fights in the comments, and I don't even think they realize it because it just comes so natural to them. It's a really weird thing, but it happens so much easier now for the younger generation. And I still don't really know how to get through to these girls at all, and like get them just stop doing this and thinking I'm like jealous. And the girl who's famous, who's my neighbor, I don't know how to get her to think, like, not think that I'm trying to put myself out there to get famous also.
I have one question. How do you get famous on Musical.ly?
I don't know. That's the thing. She took all the same videos as me in the same spots, and suddenly she just got featured for all of them, and boom, she got a crown. $800 per live stream. It's insane.
What is that? Like, I don't even understand Musical.ly. I don't understand how you can, like, that's crazy. Like,
It really, I don't understand it either, and I've been on that app for like ever.
that's another thing I want
Here's
to
the big
touch up
question,
on.
though. Here's a question, though, for Musical.ly. How are they making money if they're paying people $800 per live stream?
They get like half of the profit or something, I think. I'm not really sure on the details.
Again, where are they pulling the money from?
Probably because it's like an insanely popular app and they're getting a lot of revenue on it.
There's
Do they have
so
ads?
many
Do they have
people on it
ads?
now, and they like
They
fly
have
them out
ads
to
and,
LA
like,
once they're crowned to like
Yeah.
the headquarters of Musical.ly.
There's
And
that's another thing that the internet has opened up for is bullying, because people can get famous really, really easily doing things that aren't that, like, there's not really a
nothing but hashtags.
Famous lip syncing, but it happens and it's great. It means that you're doing something you like and you're getting paid for it, which is awesome.
And you're making people happy by doing it.
But that's how a lot of bullying happens, especially on YouTube. Like, what's some YouTuber like tried to drink bleach or something a couple years ago, and like
Amanda Todd.
Yeah,
And
I
you
don't.
could just, like get famous for that.
think.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
Yeah.
the whole Amanda Todd thing
Yeah.
came up.
It was way before I was into YouTube.
It's sad that my neighborhood's.
So I don't know much about it, but like that kind of thing, like, you can get famous really easily.
I just wanted to really quick touch back on the whole debate thing when it comes to people can take. I know, Martin, you were touching on this, how debating, it can be taken personally, and people that don't have that sort of built-in defense were like, okay, it's a debate. This is my personality. This is I don't want anyone to attack my personality. These are my personal things. And okay, here are my opinions. And we're debating on opinions. A lot of people, they don't have that separation. So when you debate them, they have this very, very big sort of, like, you think I'm wrong? You think I'm wrong? You're making fun of my opinions and what my arguments are. There's a big difference between criticizing arguments and opinions and criticizing a person. If I say, Martin, I think you look stupid, or Martin, I think what you just said doesn't make any sense, there's a big difference. I think a lot of people don't have that separation. And when it comes to me, when I sometimes debate adults on different topics, and it's not like a whole big, huge arena. It'll just be like a certain, like, maybe we're talking about, the whole Sudbury school thing. And they'll be like, so you think I'm not parent, so you think this is wrong and I'm parenting my kids wrong, this. And it's like, that's not what I'm saying at all. We're talking about opinions, and just, I'm not trying to attack you personally. But yeah, and it's just, it really can be, feelings can get in the way of debates, and that really can be something hard when that comes up, because somebody could even say that's bullying. And if they're saying, okay, well, that's bullying, you could just say, no, I said that your opinions, they don't make, I said that your arguments against my argument don't make any sense. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
and also,
the internet
it's like,
gives bullies power, and sometimes they don't even realize it. They think that just the discussion is, like, they'll think it's a discussion. It's actually someone arguing, like, back and forth.
Yeah, but there's obviously a fine line between just you're stupid, and I want to bring this evidence, I want to bring this evidence, I want to bring this evidence.
Yeah, I saw this recently in something, and I think Faith might know what I'm talking about, where people were just like going at each other, and the ice cream truck is going by, and that's loud. Is that loud?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, the ice cream truck is there, and my sister is clapping. So anyways, yeah, like I saw in a situation recently where there was just a ton of people arguing about, like, they were having, it started out as a discussion and then it got personal very quickly, and all of a sudden the people who I agree, like the people whose opinions I agreed with were being
Come
the
on.
jerks of the situation. Like, they were being unnecessarily mean. And I never really thought about how, like, even if I agree with them, I didn't necessarily agree with how they were making their point. Like, they were kind of like attacking the person in a non-related way to what the situation was and doing all this stuff.
I think
And
that sorry, go ahead.
like, it bothers me because I don't know how to say to them, I agree with you, and I think more people would agree with you and stop arguing with you if you would make it, like, make your way of, like, make your argument less confrontational. Like, stop trying to make it something it is.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways, actually, and that's something that you can see on the internet, because there are people have, debates on the internet, debates on TV. And I think, and this is another way it can result into, I think there's a line between, this thing is, in a lot of ways, making sort of like zingers or insults, it can almost, in some ways, I don't want to say help your argument, because that's not true. I want to say it'll make people sometimes listen to you more because they think it's funny, they think it's this, think it's that. And that's why it's another fine line thing. It's another fine line thing. Because on one hand, you want people to, if your argument is really important, you want people to listen to it. You want people to hear this, even if you sound like a jerk. You want people to hear this because it's important. On the other hand, you don't want to just be, whoa, just 1 second. You don't want to be attacking somebody. It's really just, I know, you think that, if somebody's, but, controversy draws, opinions, and it draws people to there when you have controversy like that. And that's why me personally, when I try to go into a debate setting, I try to not get feelings in the way. And this is not how most people work. This is not how most people work. Okay?
Yeah.
And I totally respect that. I just think I think this is not even me stating my opinion. This is me just saying that this is why they do this.
Yeah, I understand, but like I understand, but in an argument, especially one with people you don't know, I try to steer away from that, because if you don't know them, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what issues they have to deal with, and you don't know, even if it's just a little zinger, how that could affect them. So unless like I can completely understand it, like me and my friend, we are constantly insulting each other about stupid things, like your feet are big. But like, we know each other, so it's not really an insult, it's just like poking fun. But when it's with someone you don't know, that's completely different. Like, you don't know what their feelings are or whether or not they're really sensitive about their big feet, and you attacking them just made them really, really upset, and now they're depressed and they don't want to go on Facebook ever again. Like, you have to know the person ahead of time and know what they're comfortable with before doing the kind of little zingers or whatever.
Yeah, I think
touched
that
base on that earlier.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of times what people think is when they do those little zingers things in, maybe public debates, is because maybe they value the truth getting out. This is not me saying why they might do this, is they value the truth getting out more than, they're like, okay, getting it out to more people because the controversy is more important than someone's feelings, no matter how harsh that reality might be. To them, I guess I am kind of hiding behind like saying, hey, I'm not saying these things, guys, but I am saying these things, but, I'm just saying, it's not always as black and white as, don't say these things unless you completely know the person. But, just my personal opinion. That's what these are after all. But anyways, maybe we should move on. Martin and I, we've both taken up a pretty big chunk of this talking about this.
Awkward silence.
So just like to break the sounds, why do you think my neighbor would write on like her bio that she's like anti-bullying and message me anytime if you want, but then when I tell her that I'm basically being bullied by these girls, she'll write I'm not your therapist and be like really weird about it? Like, why would she portray herself as one way and then act another?
That's called virtue signaling is what it is. Virtue signaling is where
Well,
you have
my
should I, Martin, do you want, should
Yeah,
I?
sorry, I cut you off.
Okay, yeah. So virtue signaling is where you say, I'm for this. I like doing this. I am good for, this. And it really is. And then they say that, and then they don't really mean it, and they don't really care about it. Virtue signaling is where
But you froze.
you froze in an interesting
Just like,
facial expression.
yeah.
I'm wondering if I should screenshot this while I can.
Like,
Gonna anyway, and I got Martin to do a funny face as well.
oh, sweet.
Both
So
of you
yeah,
are going on my wall.
there's a chance I'll cut people off because I don't know if it's coming through for you. But what I'm saying, it shows me saying that on the screen after I've already said it.
yeah, I know. I see that.
Everything is delayed for me, so I don't hear people talking until it's too late.
So you want to go ahead then?
Yeah, Neil, we didn't hear the rest of what you said. You froze for a while.
Yeah, you froze.
Oh, come on. So, so basically what I was saying was that, where was I when I froze?
Well, you were talking about the virtue signaling thing, and then it just kind of cut off as you were saying that.
As I was explaining
At
it.
the very, very beginning.
Yes.
Okay, so virtue signaling is where you portray yourself as having a certain opinion or a certain viewpoint to make yourself make yourself look like a better person, but you actually don't hold that set of views or that opinion.
Because like she seemed like she was actually like a really sweet person when I would hang out with her and stuff, but it's possible that just disappeared when she got famous or something, and I don't know if she portrayed herself differently.
The fame went to her head, and now she thinks she's above everybody.
Yeah, she'll be nice to her fans, but not to people who actually know her.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Is like, if it was some stranger, she'd probably be more like open about it. I mean, I don't know this person. I don't go on Musically. I don't know like what like she would be like in an actual situation. But as far as I can tell, she probably is in the mindset of like, well, I'm famous. I'm better than all of my old friends, and they're just trying to make money off of me. And that, I think she's coming from a place of that, not like she doesn't care about bullying or anything like that. She just thinks you're trying to make money off of her for some reason.
Yeah, it's just not even a thought about what the actual subject is. It's just like, oh, well, you're not one of my fans, so why should I talk to you?
Yeah. And it's just everything when it comes to bullying comes down to her. Also, really quick, it's 5:47 right now, so maybe we should start to wrap it up just a little bit. We have some time, but
Martin had something to say.
Oh, you did? Go ahead.
I do.
Did you?
Right as Neil started talking, you were gonna say a thought, and then Neil talked.
No, I was talking to my dad.
Okay. So, and I just think that it always comes down to what the person, how the person takes it, and you can never know. And and it really is as simple as that. And I see that a lot when it comes to debating. And the reason I brought up one of the reasons I brought up the parents thing is because I've had people go like, "Oh, I'm older than you. How can you debate this topic? You know nothing about it. This, that, the other." And also it's like, and it's very irritating to have your arguments dismissed, and you have a lot of. And I ended up actually one of the debates that I'm referring to. I ended up, the person just stopped talking about it because they didn't have any other rebuttals, but I guess they were just too scared to admit that they actually didn't know what they were saying. They just couldn't say anything else. But yeah, it's just.
I had that happen to me.
Oh, this happens all the time. I've
Like-
never actually been told that. Well, I have been a few times. That okay, you're right. By the way, no, it's always been a sort of type of generic insult, generic snarky comment.
Yeah.
Therefore, I won. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, David, whatever you say.
For me, someone was just like, well, you're white and you're a boy and you're under the age of 20, so you're stupid. And I was like, wait, what? That's like racist and sexist and ageist and like all of the ists.
It's
and,
all the isms.
like,
What's
no,
going on?
No. They were like, no, it doesn't count for you because you don't count. And I was like,
Didn't you know
That
Hey,
makes perfect
Martin,
sense, person. who
boys
just
can't
is
you can't
ageist
be
and
sexist
sexist.
against
God.
boys. You can't be racist against white
That
people.
makes no
Did you know that, Martin?
sense.
yeah, I know. I've heard it so many times. I mean, I just need to get with the program, right?
Yeah, just get with the program, Martin. You can't be sexist against boys. You can't be racist against white people. Shut up, Martin. Stupid white male. I can't be sexist or racist. Yeah. Just why don't you just I don't know, some generic insult, Martin. Just do that.
So I think we have to wrap it up, right?
Yeah. Should we do closing statements? Because I don't want people to be rushed for closing statements because it's 10 minutes till we need to get out of
Yeah,
here.
sure.
All right, well, let's go first.
I do. I'll go first. Don't let the bullies get to you. Bullies, there are gonna be a lot of bullies in life. But you have to. I know how hard it is to push past it. You have to try your hardest to ignore the bullies. Don't let them get to you. And in all allness, stay positive.
It is hard to not let it get to you. I know that. But you got to remember, it doesn't matter what they say, really. You are worth it. So basically, just tell them to shut up mentally or with your actual mouth. Move on.
So I think my closing statement would be, I agree with, almost everything that's been said in this, during this, show, but just remember, there's a fine line between ignoring it and ignoring it so much to the point where you're literally being their punching bag. And, just think about yourself first. What do you think's best for you? And yeah, especially when it comes to when you had a conversation a year or so ago and they think it was a debate. Martin, I'm talking to you. I'm kidding. But so yeah, just be careful when it comes to that and I wish I could say, here's the solution. Here's how you do it. No, I'm sorry. It's not going to be that easy. And just be careful. Think what's best for you. And unfortunately, that's all I can really think of.
I would say don't have multiple personalities on the internet and then like in real life and be a different person. Be who you are. Don't make people feel horrible and like put certain people in your bio when you hang out with them or something, because it's a weird thing to do. It discludes people. And yeah, be nice to other people. Use the internet wisely.
Don't do things that are illegal, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think mine would probably be if you see bullying, do something. Because I had a friend a long time ago who was bullied a lot and then they tried to kill themselves. And it was a hard situation to try and be a part of. And I tried to do something, and I would just hope everyone else, if they see it, try to do something, because it's not right. Even if someone is acting like they're fine with it, there's a good chance it's not.
I guess one thing that I can say is if you're being bullied, don't bully that person back, but do stick up and don't let them bully you. Yeah. Yeah.
Was that everybody?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah, this has been...
Tune in next week.
Yeah, this has been Youth on Subjects of the World, and today we talked about bullying. I was not here for the first half. I hope it was good. I will watch it later.
So, yeah, this is Subjects of the World of Bullying, where we bully each other. That's what this episode is about. So, yeah. Bye, I guess.
Bye.
Bye.
If we want to change the world, we must first change the media. Mainstream media exists for the purposes of indoctrination and manipulation of public perception. The world of free and independent media is growing, and with the upsurge in information now available in the public domain, it has never been easier to access free and independent media. The exploration of this information resulted in an experimental project which would provide a fully supported space for researchers, whistleblowers, and seekers of all kinds to express themselves and educate the world. On the 1st of January 2015, Conscious Consumer Network was launched to the world. Nobody thought we would make it this far, but CCN is the longest running free and independent media network of its kind. CCN is a unique collaboration of hearts and souls, bringing you information from different perspectives to educate and inform. Since we started CCN, we have had only one desire: the pursuit of a free, fair, just, sustainable world, and this has not changed. Having overcome many challenges over the last 2 years, CCN is here to stay, and we've got great things lined up for 2017. Help keep CCN on the air by supporting the 2017 Network Support Fund.